The Trump administration's push to end birthright citizenship is back before the U.S. Supreme Court. On his first day in office, President Trump signed an executive order declaring that only newborns with at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen or has permanent legal status can become U.S. citizens. But federal judges blocked the order in 3 separate cases. Opponents argue the 14th Amendment citizenship clause applies to anyone born in the U.S. regardless of the parent's legal status. Joining us now to help unpack all this, talk about this legal battle, is Stephen Green, a professor of political science at North Carolina State University. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us.
Great to be with you.
So part of what's stake here is the power of the federal judges who are not elected and can block a president's executive order, therefore leading to what some call maybe judge shopping for a desired outcome. Also, a judge's ability to impact national policy, and in this case, stopping President Trump. What is your opinion about this?
Well, these are difficult issues, and we've certainly seen a history of judge shopping, jurisdiction shopping, where plaintiffs in cases have tried to find the most favorable federal judge to try and get their way. And that's absolutely a concern. But you also need to balance it with core concerns about Americans' constitutional rights. And honestly, since the 14th Amendment, it has been considered a core constitutional right that essentially, if you are born in this country, you are a citizen of this country. So the court system moves slow, and the courts are aware of that. So, sometimes it would seem like a national remedy from a district court is the appropriate action. You wouldn't want only residents of Virginia or North Carolina or California to keep their rights to be citizens by birth, while those in other states would not be. So I think in some cases a national injunction really makes sense, and perhaps in others it does not. And I think what this case presents is a challenge for the Supreme Court about trying to figure that out, and what sorts of principles should hold when it seems that constitutional rights are absolutely at stake.
And that's what I've been reading about. You brought up the 14th Amendment. It seems like there is an interpretation of the 14th Amendment. Do you agree?
I mean, that is what's at stake. And again, to be clear, honestly, until 2024, I think I had never heard very serious arguments that the 14th Amendment did not give birthright citizenship to those born in America. So this has been a long tradition of constitutional jurisprudence, of just the understanding of what this amendment means. So even if the Trump administration ends up being right or winning on this, which they may, I don't think it's likely, it is undoubtedly a pretty substantially different interpretation for how we have understood citizenship in America for well over 100 years.
That involving the children of enslaved people for that amendment. And you just said you didn't think it was going to happen. I mean, of course, nobody knows, because there's that perceived conservative, balance, or the conservative part of the U.S. Supreme Court. You can't necessarily bank on that, because some justices will agree with those on the perceived other side. How do you think it's going to play out by the summer?
Again, the truth is, well, it depends on what the meaning of conservative means, right? And this would be a radical change in our understanding of citizenship in America. And I imagine there will be some votes on the Supreme Court for that radical change. But in the sense that it is a radical change, that's profoundly not conservative. And I don't think that you will see a majority of the Supreme Court coming down in this direction, and I don't think, from what I've seen so far, that the arguments for this dramatic change of citizenship have been all that compelling.
Professor Stephen Green from NC State, thank you so much for this very interesting discussion. We appreciate your time.
My pleasure.